this is a very, very big week for you because not only are you headlining a pay-per-view, but you placed really high in the PWI top 500. Is this a big deal for you, or did you just know this was all going to happen so you don't care?
I hate to say I knew it was all going to happen, but I did. But that doesn't mean I don't care. I do care. I care deeply. I do feel, and I was contacted by PWI. They actually apologized to me because the evaluation period, if it was only 1 or 2 months longer, they even admitted to me that I would have been even higher. I probably would have been in the top 10. So it is a little bittersweet, but at the same time, the year prior to that, I think it was 135 or 145 in the rankings. So the jump is massive, but as it should be. I've been on a major stage. I proved that I'm a top bill and a top act on there. And I don't even know why I'm saying act. I'm just being me. But yeah. I've proven it. I've proven that I am one of the top guys in the industry, if not the top guy in all of AEW. And I look forward to proving that very fact this upcoming Saturday.
And if I've done my research correctly, if you win, I shouldn't say if you win, when you win the title, because I'll be in your corner, of course, metaphorically speaking, you will be the youngest Jewish world champion in history. Has that fact ever been dropped on you before?
Yes, it has, by you. And I'm really excited about it. It seems that's something that does fit me and bestow me. I rock my religion on my arm 24/7. Obviously, it's a tattoo. And it's something I'm really proud of. I'm proud of my religion. I'm proud of my culture. And I'm proud of the fact that I'm going to give wrestling fans that are Jewish somebody else to talk about besides Goldberg. So
besides Goldberg, besides Randy Savage, et cetera, et cetera. And you are of the age. Okay, let me backtrack. When I interview people who are over 50 years old and I ask about their bar mitzvah themes didn't exist then. But no, somebody under 30, it kind of did. Did you have a theme to your bar mitzvah?
I did. My theme was Maximania. It was a complete wrestling theme bar mitzvah. I had women dressed up like divas. The male dancers were dressed up like luchadors. And it was an absolute blast, man. Coincidentally, so every table had a pro wrestler on it. So the name of your pro wrestler would be your table. And one of the tables was actually a Jericho table. So it's cool now that I get to work alongside Chris.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you were on Chris's cruise. I would say you were at the highlight of the Jericho cruise for a lot of people, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's because I give people an honest and true to myself reaction when they try to talk to me. Because honestly and truly, I don't want to talk to them. And I think people respect and appreciate honesty.
The comedian Craig Gass, I'm not sure if you know who he is or you met him on the cruise.
Craig Gass. Oh, man, I met so many people. The only person who I do remember meeting was it's a funny story. There was this very overweight, ugly man, and he kept tapping me on the shoulder, trying to have a conversation with me, and I kept on telling him politely to go fuck himself, and he wasn't listening to me, and he kept on saying, no, you don't understand, like, I'm like you, like I'm like a big deal too. And he kept on trying to tell me. I go, yeah, whatever, asshole. And I went to bed. And it turns out the guy that I was, telling to screw off was the same dude who was in the I, Tonya movie. And he was just in this movie about the guy that got framed for setting a bomb off. I can't remember his name. You might know his name. Do you know his name?
Is he the guy who's in Cobra Kai?
I don't know if I haven't watched that show yet, but all I know is it was this big highfalutin famous actor who got nominated for Oscars and all that stuff. And still I'm glad I told him to F off because I didn't know him from a hole in the wall. But it is funny that he wasn't some random schmuck lying to me. No, I'm famous. He really is. So I found that very funny. Sometimes he'll tweet at me even though his opinion's not, valid or matters, but it was funny. It was a funny story.
Understood. The comedian Craig Gass actually had a routine in the middle of the cruise about how much he didn't like you and how off-putting you were. Has that ever happened before that a comedian has, had a bit about you?
I mean, I'm sure it has. I'm very famous, and I'm a very hot subject matter. But that is the first time it's been brought up to my attention. And I'll make sure to have a nice conversation with him once I meet him in person about it.
I shall relay that if I ever can. So your Long Island roots, also a big point of intrigue to me. And clearly, you're the most famous Long Islander on weekly television right now. You know, there's no Seinfeld, Rodney Dangerfield. He's not making anything new. Yeah. But who to you is the number 2 Jewish Long Islander ever, if you're number 1?
That's a tough question. I'm going to say Foley, probably. I think that's a fair answer. Outside of that, I don't know. I really don't know. I should know more about my Long Island roots since I'm so proud of being a Long Islander, but I generally don't know what people are from Long Island off the top of my head. So,
not like me memorizing all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Be proud of yourself, though. That's good. That's good nerding out.
And another thing, if I can keep complimenting you, is you have an excellent theme song, which you had before you came to AEW. Did you co-write that?
No, I did not actually. A friend of mine named John Carlo, who made a lot of the great videos that I was involved in on the independents, he wrote and produced that song. And I wanted to make sure, because to me, the song is a part of the character and the character is part of the song, the character being me, the greatest human being that ever lived. And I don't know, I think that was my dog. But yeah, I love the song, and I was pretty adamant about keeping the song when I went to AEW, and Tony was pretty adamant about making me and keeping me happy, which is a smart move on his part.
Absolutely. And I do see the ring that is on your finger. What's the worth on that? Is that $40,000?
It is $75,000 ring. I just got it recently appraised yet again. The man told me it was $75, so it was more than I had originally anticipated it was.
Wow. Another thing that intrigues me about you is you're the heir to the Pagel fortune.
Absolutely. Bedrock Bagels, the Pagel. They're coming out like hotcakes at this point. My father's business is doing great, and I'm very proud of him.
Were you eating bagels as a kid growing up, and then you graduated to Pagels, or have they always been around?
It was a graduation. Originally, I was eating disgusting bagels, and then one day my dad said, enough is enough. We need to upgrade this, and now that is how we came up with the Pagel.
Is anyone else on the AEW roster interested in Pagels?
Everybody is, but they don't. I'm not allowing it. The only wrestler who should be allowed to have that edge is me, because it is an edge. Trust me. It's a tremendous fat burner, and it keeps me in tip-top shape.
Yeah, people who follow you on social media will see that you posted a couple days ago that you'd worked out for 4 hours and you could work out for another 4.
I did.
You just keep getting more and more fit. Again, not a weird compliment.
Yep.
What was it that provoked or changed you in realizing that you shouldn't just be athletic, but also in tip-top shape?
It kind of has always just gone hand in hand ever since I was born. So it's a tough question for me to answer.
Were you ever a fat kid growing up?
No. No, absolutely not.
Got it. And then bringing it back to what we were supposed to talk about in the first place.
Yeah.
Your match with Mr. Moxley on Saturday, that ties in with the whole MJF 2020 campaign. What's going to change once you're elected, or at least the victor on Saturday?
Well, I think a lot of things are going to change, and they're going to change for the better. Personally, I feel that with Jon Moxley at the helm, we haven't been seeing a whole lot of wrestling. We've been seeing a lot of car crashes, a lot of flipping, a lot of flopping, a lot of flying. And that's all because they see Jon Moxley with that world title and they go, well, if he got that world title, I guess I should try to copy him, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what they've been doing. They've been basically murdering themselves and murdering their bodies for super high risk with very little reward. What I want to do is bring pro wrestling back, because pro wrestling is a sport, and that's where it's at its best, is when it's treated like such and when you wrestle as such. So I want to make AEW all about wrestling again, which it should be, because it's not AEW gymnastics, it's AEW wrestling.
Right, and your cabinet is full of very, very impressive people.
Absolutely.
Does Mark Sterling have a title, or is he just your attorney?
Mark Sterling is just my attorney, but I also consider him a dear friend. I was very proud of him, for deciding to go through with the match completely, his decision. I did not push him to do it. Mm-hmm. I did not tell him if he didn't do it that he would be fired or mauled. I made it very clear that it was completely up to him. And luckily, he did the right thing. So,
A lot of people are also talking about Nina. She wasn't smiling before you intervened. How did you meet Nina in the first place? Have you known her for years, or is this an AEW connection?
So what had occurred is Smart Mark, without a lot of people's knowledge, he actually helped me assemble my tremendous campaign and team. Nina's one has been a part of some of the greatest campaigns in present modern day history.
Well, two quick questions, because you're a very, very busy man, to say the very least. And
Yep.
AEW has been around for more than a year, but it's been on television, weekly television, for less than a year. Do you have a highlight or a thing you're most proud of so far?
I think the thing I'm most proud of is being the most talked about thing on the show and consistently bringing in the same ratings numbers, if not higher, than these massive names in pro wrestling, like Chris Jericho, like Cody Rhodes, like John Moxley. I'm right up there with them, you know? That's a massive accomplishment considering I've only been on national TV and exposed to the world nationally for only a year. So I think that's what I'm most proud of, is being able to put such a massive footprint in the world of pro wrestling in such an extraordinarily short period of time.
And the closer, Mr. Friedman, any last words for the kids?
I would say stay in school, but I didn't, and I'm a millionaire, so.
Case in point, you set your goals, you followed through, you achieved those goals. What else can we say to that? I don't know. Thank you so much for your generosity, for the expertise, and best of luck for Saturday.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, we deserve better, and come September 5th at All Out, I am going to give you better as I become your AEW World Champion. Thank you, Darren.
And the world's first Jewish heavyweight champion in his early 20s.
There you go.
Paltrocast.